What is up, coaches? It's Coach Ryan Rizuki. Today we are talking about a very important topic: how to get more gym time. I know that this is a super important topic to help you to run your business. Let's get straight to it. The number one tip is to work at a local gym, right? The first tip that you have is to work at a YMCA or Boys and Girls Club. This is something that I did when I first started. I was working 1 or 2 days a week at this local YMCA, and before or after their workouts or club programs, I was able to run my workouts. Of course, you have to be careful not to run into any conflict of interest if you're trying to upscale your business too big and you end up stealing a lot of their players and charging them. But if you do work at a local center and you're able to do some youth coaching or officiating, and you can kind of get in there in the hours before or afterwards to work with some other kids that are not in their programs, it is another way to get some gym time, right? I didn't have to work a whole lot, but I did have a job there, and so it gave me access to the gym. The second tip is to get a membership at the local 24, Lifetime, or LA Fitness. You can even get memberships that allow you to bring a guest or work your way up into those memberships. But if you can bring a guest, typically they're not going to have a problem with a basketball trainer as much as they would with a fitness trainer, because they have their own fitness trainers, but they don't have their own basketball trainers. So if you can get in there in the hours where it's not busy, and you're there enough that you can kind of figure out the hours that it's not busy, you're able to run at least some private lessons out of there or some small group lessons. Just be careful not to take up too much of the court or to kick people off when they're trying to play fives, because then the staff might get irritated with that. But if you can get in there during the less busy hours and run some private lessons or some small groups, that's definitely a good way to get your kids into a gym, especially in the East Coast where it can definitely get cold. Now, the third tip is my absolute favorite. But if the Pandas reached out to me or I reached out to them, this is a club team that we're talking about, I would go to them on a Tuesday and I said I would charge $150 an hour for a team training. It's not that expensive, because if you have 15 kids on your team, it's only $10 a kid. So that's very reasonable. I would go in there, run a killer workout for those players. That's something that the team needed, showing them that they needed that and that I provided that value for them. What would happen after that is they would want to continue to hire me every week, and I could make that guaranteed 150, get that gym time. But if I'm trying to build my basketball business, I told them, instead of 150, just pay me 120. Is it cool if I have a couple kids drop in to the workout? Because this isn't just a team workout, it's a skills workout. We're not running plays or anything like that. Normally they said that it was cool. And so me doing my own advertising and marketing, now I'm making $120 guaranteed, but I also might have a couple kids show up that are paying an extra $20 or $25 drop in. So let's say that I'm working out the team of 10 players, make my 120 guaranteed, but on top of that I advertised pretty well and I got 3 players to show up at $25 drop-ins. Now I'm making an extra 75 on top of that. So that's just me betting on myself that I can market that, and on my website now I can post that I have this Tuesday workout, and no one needs to know that the Pandas are paying for it or running it. They just need to show up to the gym and work out as if they normally would. And then on Wednesday I'm doing the same thing for the Piranhas. On Thursday I'm doing the same thing for the Lions. And I have 3 days now on my website that says, oh yeah, you can come work out with me Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, $25 drop in. Any day you're more than welcome to come. And so now I'm making guaranteed money off the program because I'm giving them value to their team. They can also market this. Hey, elite skills trainer Ryan Rizuki trains our program every week. We also run our 2 normal practices a week, and we play tournaments every other weekend. That's a good sales pitch for them. So you're helping their program with their sales pitch, but at the same time you make guaranteed revenue, and you're able to offer now more days that you're in the gym for the trainings that you do for the other players in the city. Now, the fourth tip we have is to rent a gym. So in the state of California, you do need what's called $1 million liability insurance, and you can rent out gyms. The local municipal gyms or the government run gyms, the city gyms, those are not that expensive. For us, I believe that they were about $20 or $25 an hour to rent. It's the private ones that are more expensive. Personally, I would go give $100 to the local city and said, hey, I'd like to rent out every Sunday from 12 to 1, and then I just go hard and advertise. Let everybody in the city know, hey, I got workouts at so-and-so recreational center. It's $25 drop-in or whatever, $100 for the month, however you want to run your business in that aspect. But I have a gym where I can train people every single week, and now it's my job to advertise and get more and more kids in there. I wouldn't really run a lot of private lessons if you're paying. I wouldn't really run a lot of private lessons if you're having to pay so much for the gym, because then you have to add that on top and then you're not really making a whole lot. But if you can get enough kids to come for a group lesson, or if you do have the capacity to charge a lot for a private lesson, then you can definitely make some money by just renting out some gyms for cheap, and that's another good way to get into the gym. So for the fifth and final way, you kind of have to get a bit lucky, and I did. I had two players that had basketball courts at their house. One was outdoor, one was indoor. But the outdoor one, I didn't really run a whole lot of my business out of there. I just mostly focused on training those boys that lived there. But for the indoor one, I got lucky and I was able to train the player who lived there, and they allowed me to run a whole group class every Monday at 6. So now I was running my Sunday class that I purchased myself and rented out myself. I ran my Monday class at their house, which of course was free of charge for me as long as that kid got to work out for free. And then I had my Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday classes, which I didn't have to pay for any of those gyms either because the teams were paying for those, the Pandas, Piranhas, and Lions. And then any other day that I wanted to get into the gym, I could get into local parks or local recs because I had my YMCA that I could train on Saturdays, or I had somewhere else that I can get to outside. But that gave me pretty much gym access almost 7 days a week, and I was able to run multiple group classes. And by being able to charge a low price for the group classes, I could have people show up every single week and knew that I was going to be okay and make that guaranteed money, right? The only difference, and we could talk about this also, but the only difference really from the summers and the winters is just the times, right? You just become busier at different times. Right now in the winter for us, our Sundays are crazy busy because high school kids don't practice on Sunday. So it just shifted our busy weeks to our busy weekend. And then during the winter, everyone's playing tournaments on the weekend. So it shifts the busy weekend to the busy week. So as long as you understand how to market to the right people at the right time, then you can always have a consistent business with this. But those are 5 ways to get some more gym access.